Okay, we're live. Do we have any volunteers for a prayer?
I'll say it.
Thank you.
Okay. Our dear Father in heaven, we humbly bow our heads before thee, and thank you for this opportunity to meet together so open to have these discussion. Please bless us that we may know how to contribute for all the opportunities that we have to learn and grow. Humbly ask and pray for these blessings in Jesus' name.
Yeah, so I'm not very excited about being a group leader today, but we all have to take turns, I guess.
Don't flip it up. You gotta control on the way up and on the way down.
So how's everyone doing today?
Triceps are bad.
Good. How are you?
Triceps are bad for you. Haven't you listened to college players?
So, should we jump right into the discussion? This week's was kind of. What's that?
That's what I would do.
Okay. All right. So the first question is, from your personal experience, what have been key behaviors in effective teams? So my understanding is the same the discussion post that we answered today and yesterday should be about the same as the questions that we're asking right now. So anybody have any comments on the first one?
Just looking back at different groups that I've been a part of, whether it be school or work or anything, we always had a pretty tight bond with a lot of us, but we, whether we were, close in age or close in, demographic background or whatever, the really good experiences we had were ones that we had a relationship more than just the reason for the group, whether we were friends outside of that or different things that we did. We always had a tighter bond because we kind of knew each other, what was going on in our personal lives and stuff. And so we were sensitive to whatever may be going on and always had a nice, strong bond that we were able to work through things quickly and effectively and really do a good job in completing tasks that were needed to.
Yeah, I agree with you. Definitely having a relationship outside of just what's, like a formality type of thing definitely helps contribute to effectiveness. For me and my team in particular, it's having trust in one another. That's kind of one of the key contributing factors so far as in a lot of the teams that I work with is being able to trust in each other's integrity and also motivations and trusting that we're all trying to look out for each other type of approach rather than just for ourselves.
So be more of a team player than looking up for number one.
Yeah.
In the groups that I work with, I work from like my accountant, the bookkeeper, all the way to my camp director who sings songs and is silly and sees a bigger picture. They don't think alike. So even if they say, the same English words, they don't mean the same. So we have to realize that we need to respect each other's opinions and we need to listen. Otherwise, there's so much contention in the group. So they have to really open their ears and try to hear what the other people are saying because they just focus on two different areas.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like something that I like to have in my groups is just like a sense of camaraderie. We're all moving towards so we're all moving towards like the same end goal instead of just a bunch of different ideas spreading everywhere.
Something my school we did last year is we redid our management setup. So it's we're a school district and we call it a teacher empowered school. So instead of the administrators leading the teachers, they lead their own part. So it's an equal piece. So we do certain things and they get to lead their part and have their piece to play in it all. And they're just as responsible as we are for the outcomes, which I think really helps with a team dynamic because they have to have ownership or it's really hard for them to feel part of it.
Thanks for sharing. Is it Raul? What's your name?
Yes.
Welcome to the party.
Thank you.
So we're just answering the it's the same questions that we answered in the discussion board that some of us posted in.
Okay.
So we're on the first one. From your personal experience, what have been key behaviors in effective teams?
Okay. So what I've seen like that is helping me a lot is by, showing commitment and trust. I think one of the more important things for when I'm in a group is to be able to have commitment, to each other, like for the group so that everything can flow better. And as well have trust that, this person or the other person are going to be able to do their tasks. So, everything is under control and everyone is doing equally, like there's always one that, doesn't want to do their part and poorly the others have to do more. So I think like trust, man, trusting one another and just commitment is one of the first things that I would say that they're the better norms.
Cool. Sounds like everyone values trust, probably trust the most. With I work construction. I don't know if you guys knew that or not, but I work electrical construction. And whenever one guy is looking out more for himself, then it's not about the team. So then guys are kind of left hanging out. Like a lot of times we need help. It takes 2 or 3 guys to do one part, but if it kind of takes a group effort to kind of notice that, hey, I need help over here. And if you have to ask all the time, it doesn't work very well either. So being a team is a big deal, and getting all the work done.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that because I was a project manager for a restoration cleaning company, and there were times that I got to the job and this guy, he was like doing everything and the other guys were just like chatting and like of course the guy that was doing something, he was like pissed off, he was super angry that he was doing everything, and just the other guys, like from that, like I knew that this guy, he wouldn't trust the other ones anymore, and there was just like a lot of problems come from like not trusting each other and like commitment. So and it's really a big problem when it comes to like there's no trust in your team or the group that you work with.
Right. We leave anybody else out? Is it Randy? Did you have anything? Any more?
No, I agree. I mean, there's, when you're leading a group of people to end to end at the same place, it just takes, committed teamwork and everyone's got to be in it for the long haul and finish together.
Hey, can somebody answer for me? Did some of you guys put in the discussion board? Were we supposed to post in there? Because I thought she responded that we weren't. I just want to know.
Like the one on Tuesday?
Yeah, well, the discussion board that's up there for this case study or this, but it says we're not supposed to post in there.
To me, it was unclear, but then
I know,
she
but
said,
if you read it.
in her email that she sent this morning, it kind of sounded like she wanted us to, but I don't know.
See, I read her email as if we weren't supposed to, that was because before she told me, when I asked her what it was for the week before, that it's just where I post the team members that are participating and our link to our YouTube when we're done so she can see it.
That's how I thought it was. Like,
Okay, I'm just trying to grasp if somebody knows, so I actually do it if I'm supposed to.
Are you talking about this one? Like,
yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know. I did it, and Wesley and Heather did. So
I know, but if you like read the instructions, that's why I'm asking. It seems like we're half and half. It's not clear, is it?
Yeah, because I read the email too, and I wasn't sure. So
I don't think I read her email. Did she send us one on that?
This morning there was something.
Yeah, she said. Let me see.
It didn't make it clear in her email. It says I add some extra language. It hopefully cleared this up, which she didn't clear it up.
I know. I'm like, you never answered anything.
Huh. Okay. Just curious. Sorry to sidetrack us. I just was really hoping somebody knew what was going on, because my understanding, that's where we submit our links for our group chat, and that's where we discuss, because some groups are not video. They're just like, when you saw your sign up, there was one or two that were just group ones that did it on boards, where we do ours in a meeting.
Interesting.
So
I can send her. We should send her an email and directly ask her, or.
I just think there has to be. Yeah, I just was curious if anyone knew, because I saw you guys post, and I was like, gosh, when I read the instructions, they say this is for the group leader.
Yeah, because we're doing double work. I spent like 35
That's why I was
minutes.
wondering.
Because when I read the assignment initially on this, it didn't sound like we were to post anything, and so I just typed it up ready to, and then I was going to see what everyone else did, and then I was going to post it, but.
I didn't post because
I was more confused.
Just due to last week's clarification that was meant for, like, I posted each person that participated in my YouTube link when I was done with our meeting.
Reading through instructions right now. Make sure I'm not missing anything.
Because I thought it was there to kind of head us up for what we're going to talk about in this group discussion. Like, it gave our questions to be ready for.
Oh, so we don't have to turn in our answers necessarily for
no,
credit.
That's not. I just was curious. I wanted to clarify it so we all don't do double duty if we don't have to.
Well, at least I got my answers down.
Yes, you do. And I mean, I did mine too, but I just don't think we have to post them per se.
Okay. Yeah, I get confused because honestly, the first few group meetings, with even in some of my other classes, I'm taking so many that I don't know which one's which. And
I know. I have the same problem. I had to look at which one. I have two classes very similar.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
I got two business classes. I'm like, whatever. Cross my fingers. Hope I posted the right one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry to sidetrack us. I just noticed you guys had posted, and I was a bit confused as to why we had posted.
So then we should only have.
Right. That proves we have a healthy group here because we sidetracked.
That's right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so we should only have to post on the reading discussion then.
Yeah, the other one's meant for. I think there's 1 week that we will have to post, but I think it's like, if you guys look at the Google sign up, it's 1 week we won't have a class meeting.
Okay.
And as another thing, I think we have to sign up twice in that Google. I just went through it today. I think we have to all go in and sign up one more time to make it through the semester.
You know what, guys? I'm actually just reading. I went to that what Google Learned activity and the instructions, and there's a little parentheses that says, "Remind you, do not post comments or responses to the discussion board."
That's what I thought. It said, "Please do not respond to any comments in here."
So
okay.
I thought that should be like on the very first, like, by the way, do not post.
Yeah, she did say that. She just added that. Okay, so it is not for us to post. It's for you. It's for her to find your link when you're done and who participated in our group.
So it means that we don't have to like post another 2 like responses of the end of the week.
Not on this one, not what Google Learned activity, but we do on the other ones.
Yeah.
On which one? The reading the.
Yeah, the reading one.
Habit 3.
Yeah, reading habit 3.
All right.
Now, this discussion has to be a full hour.
I think my guess is it is, but I don't know for sure.
'Cause
I try to keep this right around an hour.
In the rubric, it says if it to get full points, it needs to last an hour.
Hey, we can make it last an hour.
We sidetracked it for like 20 minutes. Why not?
Yeah.
How was your day?
Right.
Everyone list how the weather is.
That's right.
Is anyone in Chicago right now?
No.
I got about 20 below right now.
Ooh.
I'm freezing cold, but that's okay. No snow yet.
I'm sitting at 42.
Can somebody tell me they have warm weather and they live in Florida or something?
I'm in California, but it was raining today.
I need to be on a beach. Yeah.
I just know.
Yeah, it's been nice over here. So
Where at in California are you from?
I'm in Irvine, so Orange County area.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a sister that's near San Francisco.
Oh.
Hidden Valley.
Yeah, they're north.
I've got an uncle in Huntington Beach. That's closer to Irvine, right?
Yeah, it's not far. Not far. 15 minutes drive.
Let's have a mission in California.
Everybody send me your friends and family.
Well, reason I brought it up is because I was just there about a month ago.
Cool. Nice.
Okay, so back to the discussion. Second question: what do group norms have to do with effective team building? I'm just going to read the whole thing. What would you say current B321 group norms include? Unspoken or spoken? And are they healthy group norms? And if not, what could be changed? So,
I have a question.
Go ahead, Ron.
Because I have a couple of classes too. Is this the class that if we do like something respectful, we have to dance?
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay, never mind.
It is this one. Like,
What class is that?
I think it's my marketing class.
I have a business statistics class that says, I think it is business statistics. Or I don't know. Somebody, if you use your phone in the middle of your group meeting, you have to do a solo song or dance, something like that. So
that might be this one.
Oh, it is this one?
Yeah, because I read that and I don't have my other business class this semester, so it's got to be this one.
Okay. All right.
That's kind of funny. Okay, good to know. But I think with the group the norms, like you were talking on the B321, I think it really depends on your group, the norm, right? Like you can get a quality group. Like I think we actually are all pretty punctual, respectful of the norm, but I haven't always had that in all my groups. I've had people like straggle in or not show up or never attend or not host their night. So I think that's kind of depends on the group you get. I don't really know if there is a full across norm. I think it depends on the quality of the group you end up with.
I think going with what Christy said, I feel like we have a really good healthy group norm. Like what she said, we're all very considerate of each other. We all try to, be punctual and contribute and, not be awkward. And I think one thing that we do a really good job of is kind of adding humor into the mix. I've been in some group discussions where everybody's so like matter of fact and kind of hard to joke with, and you crack a joke and everyone's like just cricket. I'm sorry, can I lend you a sense of humor or something, because I thought that was good. Anyway, I think that helps a lot. Like, I mean, for me, for work, this question is about the group norm, but I think one thing that's been effective for me, Wesley, I know you said you're in construction, you're in electrical construction. So I work in construction management, and we have a group of 8 for construction management. Everybody, everyone's like this really, really tall, very like tenured old men, and then here's me, 4'11", short, Asian. And when I first came into the group, I think it was a little bit difficult because everyone was kind of, they had their own relationship, like cliques and relationships, and I was having a hard time fitting in. And then finally I decided, everyone's taking themselves a little too seriously. So I just started joking around and kind of inserting humor, sometimes inappropriately. But when people laugh, it kind of like breaks that communication barrier and that, like kind of unwillingness to meet somewhere in the middle. And I think for us, we all kind of joke around a little bit here and there, and that helps us put that barrier down a little bit more. So it feels a little bit more of an open space to communicate. So I think we have a really good healthy group norm.
That's great. I completely agree with that. That's my character trait. I guess I'm always in a moment of seriousness. I'm usually making fun of something or inappropriate usually. So.
I think it helps that we don't have. I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but I out of I'm
19.
No, you're not. Nice try. But it does help, I think, because it gives you a little bit of experience and have fun, a little bit of being able to handle the situation better in some ways. I had a semester like last semester. I had a 19-year-old, and it was really tough. She could never be on time. It was a different dynamic. We ran on a different schedule for sure.
Yeah, that's true. That's really
I think our group's good too, just because, I mean, first of all, we're all able to like agree on a time to meet. That's
always hard.
If we want to go to bed, but the kids should be maybe in bed. Mine aren't, but whatever.
I also think that maybe with our age, that it's easier for us to have one person's in charge, but they're not like the boss. They're the ones that just mediate, starts it, and then we all respect and jump on in. We don't have to be led, or we're not fighting to be that so-called leader. We can respect each other and then just go with the flow, and that's not always found in communications and in groups.
Definitely.
Thanks, Heather.
I agree.
Anybody else have any responses about group norms? What are you doing, man? I can hear the dog. What kind of dog do you have?
I got two labs right here.
All right.
This is the newest puppy right here.
Oh man.
He's not so small, and then here's the old one. Come here. They want to come play. Here, stand up. See, we got two of them right here.
All right.
They're a little crazy. I had them downstairs, but they didn't like that anymore, so I apologize.
Oh, that's right.
Team mascots.
Yeah, there we go.
Right.
My wife's about ready to get rid of both of them. She started a dog hair.
So, another sidetrack. I just got a poodle. They don't shed, and I have a lab. I have a lab as well too.
There you go. You gonna make a labradoodle?
That's the plan, actually.
There you go.
So, anybody else have any comments for question 2?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll move down. All right. So how does psychological safety in a team increase overall effectiveness? And what are the roles of communication and empathy in creating psychological safety? Well, I'm going to respond real quick. I think with psychological safety, I think it's important that everyone feels comfortable with being able to share their thoughts in a place where people aren't going to be critical of them, hard on them, or make fun of them, or kind of look down upon them. I suffer from that kind of, I don't want to be a group leader. I'm kind of in the back. I kind of stay quiet just because I don't want to say something embarrassing or something like that. So I can feel for people that have that kind of mentality.
Definitely. I feel like that's something awesome that we have in our group is like if somebody has something to share, nobody's gonna be like, really? You're gonna say that? Like, come on. Like we all have like that mutual respect for everyone, like in that safety within the group.
Well, except from the 18-year-old Jordan, right?
Yeah, except for me. Yeah,
That's right.
Seriously. So, roles of communication and empathy. So, I'm just going to second portion of that question. What are the roles of communication and empathy? As far as empathy goes, I think being one of the things that we did a good job of, like what Jordan said, is we were able to say, and nobody's going to criticize or say something disrespectful or mean about it, because I think we've all at some point in our lives definitely have had that experience where we're on the receiving end of, you know, being insulted by our opinion or our insecurities. And I think being in that place or having that experience allows us to have that empathy for each other, you know, kind of like what Chrissy was saying, as a, you know, like some you know, younger students who don't quite have as much of a like social maturity. They don't really know how to relate. They haven't really been able to navigate. Like it's not even really just younger people. I have some, you know, people that I work with that are much older, and even they don't have that social maturity. So I don't know that it's really just an age thing. I mean, I think, you know, it could really span to a bunch of different ages. But being in that position or having that experience once before and really kind of studying in your mind, oh, that's right, I didn't feel good about that situation, so I probably shouldn't do that to somebody else. I think we all have that ability to empathize with each other really well, and that's important in having that psychological safety. So I think that's why we're all able to speak and freely give our opinion or jokes and comments and know that it is a safe space to do that.
I think you're right. It's not an age alone. Because I know specific, you know, even in a workplace, I've seen people who very much you would assume would have gained it by their age, and some just can't. It's something you do learn.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more common in age because it's a skill you learn over time sometimes. I mean, I don't think I had as much empathy when I was 18 as I do now after having 4 kids. It teaches you just different skill sets. And I think that's what helps in our group and with this is that there is a lot of different skill sets. We have people who work, who don't. I mean, it seems like we have a lot of variety. So there's a lot of empathy that comes with it, of understanding. And I think also being an online student gives us a lot of empathy because it's not something you're doing alone, it seems like. A lot of people seem, at least in this group, seem to be doing other things besides just being a full-time college student.
All right. Yeah, that's huge. A lot of these classes that obviously we all attend, you're like, really? You want me to do that? And things I got to do here, you know, I got church callings and school and, you know, work, and we're going to be working, you know, 12 hours a day. And so this has been a great class, and I've enjoyed the group too. And I reflected on that at the end of last week too. I was like, man, this is one of the best groups, even though we've only met once. Yeah. And it's just the chemistry somehow, you know, and I think it's just been a good experience. Better than the last one I had, that's for sure.
Well, I went to the local college here for 2.5 years, and it's actually probably a little longer than that because I started taking classes part-time. And I dreaded group projects because usually it involved 1 or 2 people, and the rest of the group were not doing anything. And when I went to BYU, I didn't do. I don't know if you guys did. What's the program called? Having a brain fart.
Pathway,
yeah.
Oh,
I didn't do Pathway. I just went right to BYU, Idaho, and then went for a semester. So then I was done, and then taking classes online back home. And it was such a huge difference with group projects. I mean, everybody was involved. Everybody wanted to get an A, and it was drastically different. So now I don't dread group projects as much.
Oh, I agree. I think group projects are just still depends. It can be a pretty big battle. What is everyone's background? I came out of Pathway and I work full time. What do you guys all do on your background? Are you guys coming from just being from BYU or the Pathway program?
I came from Pathway. This is my second semester BYU, but I also work full time, and I actually go to school too in UCLA, but also online for construction management. So,
very cool.
I came from Pathway, and this is my 7th semester.
7?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
When do you guys graduate, or what are you guys looking for towards?
2020, because I'm doing like only 3 classes because I'm working full time and I'm doing a lot of sports. So.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I graduate in December, and I'm working full time. I've crammed my Pathway, my semesters into 3 years, my bachelor's. So.
Wow. So how many classes are you taking a semester? 7?
I've got 4 to 5. I came in with 30 some odd credits from previous before I had my kids. But
okay.
I'm getting my business degree for my administration license.
It's awesome.
I have a similar story. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Heather.
Okay, so I have a similar story. I came from Pathways. This is my second semester. I'll be graduating 2020, right after the winter quarter of 2020. I had a few credits before, so I'm cramming about 18 credits a semester to get it all done. Work full time, and I'm a mom of 5, so staying pretty busy.
We just don't sleep. That's what I tell people now. I'm like, 4 hours of sleep seems really handy now. That's what I've got to.
Of course, you always have those church callings on top of it, but you just somehow you get through.
I know.
Well, being a mom of 5, I sympathize with you. That's pretty crazy. We have 4, all under the age of 11.
All boys, girls? I have 4.
All boys.
I have all boys. Yep, and mine
all right.
all were. I have a freshman in high school. My youngest is 8.
Cool.
I thought I had a kid. I got 2 boys. The oldest is 13 and the youngest is 8. But and I went through the Pathways program also, and just trying. And I had an associate's degree prior to that, and of course, BYU accepts everything, but not in the category I'd like. So
yeah.
So I should finish up. I think I have like 5 classes left. So hopefully
very cool.
December or early next year, something. We'll see.
Cool.
I can only do 2 classes at a time. I tried 3, and I'm like, I can't.
What are you getting your degree in?
Business management.
Very cool.
So to have the same job I have now. So
I know that's exactly what I'm doing too. Everyone's like, "Why are you doing?" I'm like, just to check it off my list, I guess. A pay raise would be really nice. That seems to be the key.
For sure.
So I just went to BYUI, and then I realized it was a lot easier to work and take online classes. So now I take online.
Very cool.
Are you really 19?
No. I'm 23, almost 24. Right?
Very cool.
He's still the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I knew I was.
I need to go back to when I was 24 and had only like 2 kids.
Yeah, I have no kids, so.
Okay. Anybody else want to share before I move on?
Okay.
Okay. So we're on the next question. It says, how does sharing personal experience and being vulnerable influence team dynamics?
I think we just went over that. You know?
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like, I'm meeting with another group as well on Tuesdays, and before we started the meeting, we like talk about, like just we did, and he really like open up like the group and how, because I mean online students are really completely different from like going to a classroom or whatever. You talk more there. Just like online, like, and then just talking like a little bit of our lives, just make it easier to like trust each one another. And I don't know, I just feel it's important.
Thanks. I think it's important. I think because we're all in some way either working or going to school at the same time, I think we're all in a similar boat, so we're kind of united in that effort. It's not something that. I mean, I'm 36 and I'm still going to school. I feel like I've been going to school my whole life between my college and then my vocational training and. So.
I was just saying, what am I going to do with all my free time when we're done, right? Like, I could actually sleep or something exciting.
Sleep would be nice.
Yeah, I actually think of that all the time. I'm like, oh, yeah, I really should have done this before I had kids and sports all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I think part of the opening up is like us discussing what we are, where we're at. It's helpful to know, especially when we're planning meetings, and we're just well aware and courteous of people's time with that. Like, our 8:30. Okay, great. That works because we're all working and we're all busy and have 100 things going on. And I think that is why opening up helps, is knowing what is a component in people's lives,
I think also knowing, since we know like where we all come from and we're so busy, that we understand that we're all vested into doing this. I've been in groups where, they're young, their mom and dad are paying for it, they haven't had to sacrifice, but we all realize that we're sacrificing sleep. Is the main thing we're sacrificing, but time with our families, and so we respect each other and our time for that.
I totally agree. It's a huge sacrifice. We take. I mean, that's my biggest. That's why I always try to group my whole classes that require team meetings in the same semester. I'm like, oh, it's gonna take so much time. I'm a more solo with my projects myself at like midnight, and it's harder in groups because there is a time constraint that comes into the picture.
Yep, for sure.
That's what's hard about this class is you got to section out a whole hour. I like to get into the group projects and just boom, 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 and then be done.
Me too. I know. I was like, gosh, how can we get a lesson? And I'm totally on board on that one. I'm like, how many things can you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we only have one question left. I guess I didn't answer the second part. Anybody have any personal examples of this in organizations that you're involved in?
We do a lot of personal, like, team builder activities at our school that gives us time to open up and get to know them. But I come in a different dynamic. We have a group that meets at a restaurant once a week, on Friday night, so that they can get to know each other. Some have drinks, some just, sit there and get an appetizer. And the point is that it feels like it's a way for people to tell about their personal lives in a safe zone outside of work, right? But we still get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
About you guys, but the reason I've gotten so fat over the years is because we go out to eat every day as a group. And that's usually where we do our relationship building, I guess. That's the only time where we can, talk about things that aren't about work.
Yeah.
So
It's interesting. So for our summer camps, we bring in a bunch of 21-year-old kids from colleges and that, between the ages of 19 and 24. And after hard days of training to get them ready to teach summer camp, we always have the fire and that. And to watch them sort of mingle and get to know each other during that downtime is so important for their bonding to make it through the summer. Because if they don't have that, they're never going to be a cohesive team, and the kids that we bring to our camp really notice.
Do you guys remember how in the book I think it was in the first chapter, the paradigm shift, where Dr. Covey was in the subway and this dad, everything was fine and everybody was relaxing, quiet, and reading, just doing their thing on the train. And the father comes in with his kids, and then the kids were just rambunctious. and all the passengers were like visibly getting irritated, but nobody was saying anything. And so finally, Dr. Covey, after a lot of restraint, kind of asked the father, you know, hey, do you think maybe you can control your kids a little bit? They're kind of disturbing everybody in the train. And so the father, out of, you know, kind of just like snaps back to reality and was like, oh, you're totally right. I probably should do something. But, you know, we just came from the hospital. My wife just died. Their mom just died. And I don't really know how to deal with it. And I don't know how to, the kids, I guess they don't know how to deal with it either. And then all of a sudden, Dr. Covey's like mindset and paradigm of this, like reference of this person has changed. It kind of changed the dynamic of how he started communicating. And all of a sudden, he's a lot more empathetic. So of that, sharing the personal experience, it really does change all of a sudden. If you have something more to empathize about or relate about with that person, then I think it changes the dynamics to be a little bit more warm, or, you know, like what we were talking about earlier, you can communicate a little bit better, safer, and then empathize as well. So with me and my team, sorry, this is a little bit long-winded one, but 2 weeks ago, my dog passed away. You know, I've had her since she was a puppy. She's 7 years old. And I came into work and I didn't really tell very many people. And the ones that I did, I didn't really, you know, I told them not to make a big deal out of it. I kind of want to just focus on work and not have it affect how I deal with things. But people can immediately tell something was wrong. So people kept prodding. I didn't say anything, but people kept prodding because my behavior was a little bit out of the norm. And then when I would share what it is, and all of a sudden people are like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You know, and the entire dynamic in the office was a lot more empathetic. People were more mindful of when they're talking to me, to be a little bit more sensitive for, like, you know, if they're needing something urgent, to kind of be more careful with their tone or, you know, things and whatnot. But I think sharing personal experience and having that vulnerability allows people the opportunity to empathize with you, have that more open communication. So.
Like, you don't do stuff.
I agree. I think empathy is a huge piece. I also think there's a piece that comes to, like, the more you share, when it comes to a hard piece in your life or your coworkers, you're able to give them something. Sometimes you can go help out. A couple, like, years ago, we had we seem to flood quite a bit lately with our amount of water that has been coming in. And so, you know, like, there was a day where one of our colleagues' houses were at risk. And so we were able to go, instead of staff meetings, we went and bagged, you know, we put sandbags together. You know, I think things like that, if you don't know that about them or they've never opened up, how can you help them out, you know, and make that team dynamic? It's really hard to if you don't know anything about them.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I had to go beat my kids because they were fighting with the dogs. Sorry.
Mine are running around pretending they're actually sleeping, but they're not. Tomorrow morning will be a fun morning.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, crap. My computer just shut down. What was the last question?
Last one says, what can you do as an individual to initiate effective team behavior?
So I put, as an individual, I could be polite and let other people talk, and I would try to build a relationship. What did I say? Meaning maybe to get to know each other better, sincerely learn about each other's backgrounds. That people are so shy, I might make time and ask what they think and really seek their input. So again, I kind of went back to sometimes there's more people that would rather sit there and just listen, and just because they're more shy around people. So that's what I tried to do in this group, is to allow everyone to talk, so it wasn't just a few people speaking, and giving a chance for others that are more shy to come forward.
I agree. I couldn't they always say you get what you put into a relationship, and the same with groups. You need to definitely put a little bit of yourself out there, even if it's uncomfortable for you. Just keep practicing, because in the real world, you'll go farther if you can do it.
I think it's also as a group we need to engage. Like, I thought you did a great job as a leader because when you didn't think everyone had spoke, you asked them. I think a lot of times some people have to be asked. It's just their personality, and that's okay. So I think the group, we have to remember that to make sure we kind of get to know everybody's name, make sure we're hearing from everybody in the group as we're progressing. And not everyone has to answer every question, but throughout the discussion, making sure we've heard from somebody. If they're not feeling engaged in some way, can we help them? You know, what can we give back?
Yep, I agree. And one of my jobs that I had, the first thing they told me to do was read this book. And of course, I get this. It's called Getting Naked. I don't know if anyone's read that before. And he's like, be careful when you Google it first, but you know, it's about making yourself vulnerable to a situation and letting people know that, hey, you're as vulnerable as everybody else, so that you can, they can kind of let your guard down and talk about things that, you may not want to, just like we have tonight. I think that proves that, what a healthy group is, what we've been doing and stuff. And so I think that's a huge part of it.
I agree.
I think something that we do a really good job of in our team too is validating responses. Nothing is the worst when you're at a meeting and you're kind of like, well, what do you guys think? And everybody's just quiet or kind of, just blank. And even like with my husband, sometimes I have to be like, I just need validation. Can you just
can you respond that I said something? That's all I want.
Just
I just had that conversation, and it happens in the workplace. I was just having this conversation because, like I said, I do administration. I run the whole operations for a school district, and it's super hard to sometimes just get people to, you'll send an email and you want them to validate, yes, did you actually get the email and respond back? Yeah, I read it, right? Like, yeah. You don't want them to ignore that. And so I think that's important in any kind of dynamic work or a team, is getting that validation of, response. And you don't have to agree. You just have to understand they want a response back.
Yeah.
Oh, I made a mistake the other day in the office. I was thinking about something really important to my brain, and I was walking across the office and somebody said hi to me, and I didn't even acknowledge him because I wasn't even paying attention. But I felt the whole office change. I just kept walking and I stopped and like, wait a minute, something just happened. And I had to turn back around and apologize, but sometimes you have to disconnect and pay attention to your surroundings. And I learned that the hard way this week.
I think we all do sometimes. I think that's what's great about, I think with an effective team, that behavior is important too, is to be able to realize and recognize when we do cut someone off. And I think that's the hardest part about group chats I found, and we do a pretty good job of it, is reminding and courtesy of like, we can't all talk at the same time, and to try to, it's so hard to know when you're going to talk because there's not a way to do that on the group chat. So that can get kind of overwhelming. We've had a few group chats where it feels like they're always cutting each other off instead of waiting for each other to finish.
Yeah, that gets hard.
Yeah. I think we do a good job with giving social cues and then recognizing social cues.
Yeah.
Some people you just never know. But
some will never.
Yeah.
Some will not have them ever. We just can't teach that.
Yeah. But we do. I think our group is really awesome, and I love hearing from everybody. I feel like we all have, because we all come from such different backgrounds, even though we have a lot of things in common, it's nice to hear, it's not just what does my husband call it? It's like an echo chamber, or I forget what, something where it's like you hear from the same people and over that's like in the exact same demographic as you, that sometimes it's nice to get a breath of like, oh, this is something that's kind of a little bit more unfamiliar. So anyway.
Well, definitely. And I think the article we read talked about it a little bit. Like when you're around everyone that's kind of the same, you kind of get group you get groupthink going on, and then you don't do anything productive. And so I think we all have like our own independent thoughts, but it's good for the group to be able to chime in and stuff.
Well, for me, when we do a project, we come in and as a team, we'll catch things that we're missing, that others are missing, or we'll see each other's mistakes before we get too far. If we all go, okay, you do this and you do that, and we do our own thing, and by the end, it usually doesn't come together very well. But if you're working together, you catch each other's mistakes and you see the kind of the bigger picture and what you might miss. And sometimes, I mean, just like the other day, you potentially save a life. Sometimes you're not aware that something's energized or hot, and you're just in your thoughts, and someone next to you can catch it and potentially save your life. Then you have to go through the awkward silence too.
I know, we had to kill 7 more minutes. I was just looking at the clock being like, how long? 7 minutes.
Oh, go ahead.
I bet we could go around and find out more about each other, since this is what this whole discussion is on, is kind of our effective team. And I think the more we know about each other, the better off our effective team will be. I know that we all, does anyone not work? It sounds like everybody's working then. Is that correct?
I have a job. Well, I don't know if I work or not.
Oh, I know. I want to call mine not work Sundays. My husband says sometimes I don't work too because I get so many holidays off of school districts, but I do a lot. I work a lot. You know, my normal hours are 60-hour weeks, so I work. I just get vacation. I get great vacations. How's that?
There you go. I'm in sales, so I get the benefit of being able to work from home a lot. The other day I went to the Mexican restaurant down the street and hung out there, and I had a customer text me and was like, "Are you at the coffee shop?" I'm like, having a burrito. So, you know, he comes over, but my job is to talk to people and sell what I got, you know, and so it's been pretty fun that way. But even though the office is literally 10 minutes from my house, which is great, I can have the opportunity to just work from home and do stuff. I work in my truck a lot. So
Raul, what do you do?
So I do marketing for carpet cleaning company and restoration. So we work with a lot of school districts because we do high schools, junior highs. We strip and wax all the schools in Utah. Yeah, I mean, I'm a salesman too. You know, I'm just looking for contracts and looking for jobs so that people can have, you know, hours and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So Jordan, I haven't heard from you. What do you do?
So I manage a restaurant, but just starting last week, I want to go into healthcare. So my major is healthcare administration. And so I got an internship where Thursdays I go and I work in a little urgent care clinic place. And so that's why so next week I'm the group leader, and I'm gonna start it and I'll group lead and stuff. But I get off at 8, and then it's like a 15-minute drive. And so today I got home right at 8:30, and that's why I joined a little late. So tomorrow I promise I'll get you guys the link, or not tomorrow, next Thursday. But it just might be a couple minutes late. So I'm sorry.
Sounds great.
Yep.
Just go to bed.
Good to know.
speaking of the next group, so not next week, the week after is Valentine's Day. And for some odd reason, I signed up for that, and I will be traveling from California that day, and I don't know when I'm going to get home. But being that day, I don't know if we want to think about moving it to a different night for that particular week or whatever.
Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, whatever you guys want to do. I mean, 'cause I know we got youth groups and stuff like that on Wednesday too, and I'll be
I can't do Wednesdays, but I mean, I could try. I have board meetings for my school district, but could probably rotate it if you guys need.
So can we just do it in the discussion boards? You said there were some groups that signed up that purely
Yeah,
do it.
but we didn't sign up that way, so we can't. We have to post a link. There was one at the very bottom if you saw the sign up, but it filled up so fast. I think it was filled up probably before any of us even looked at it. And I can't tell you though, I'd rather just talk than have to post for a half hour.
For sure. We don't have to make a decision tonight, but think about it, and then next week if we can talk about it and decide, because I'll be in California all week, coming home on that Thursday, which I'm in hot water anyways, but
yeah.
But I've been married long enough too. We don't necessarily agree to go out on that night.
I don't. I think it's a horrible made up holiday, so we're all clear.
Yes.
But
We don't buy flowers and we don't go out on a date because it's all ready.
I'm like, it's just overcrowded restaurants. I just want to eat when I can be by myself.
They do some like crazy increase in like it'll be like the same menu, but because it's the Valentine's special.
They throw $10 on everything.
The restaurant I work at, we're doing a Valentine's dinner, and it's $100, and we usually shop for like 20. And I'm like, oh my god. So.
Yeah, it's for the suckers out there that think they have to make their girlfriend happy.
I just don't want to do the dishes.
Yeah.
Paper plates.
Yeah. I have resorted to paper plates after being a full-time student and work full-time. I'm like, I gave up some of my standards, but paper plates now exist, and I am polluting the earth, as my son tells me, but that is okay.
That's not good.
I do the same thing. My children rotate, and so when the littles are supposed to wash the dishes, the paper plates come out of the cupboards because I don't want to deal with it.
So I've decided it's my turn. I do paper plates. I don't care anymore. I gave up on that.
That's funny.
That or the dishes can pile up on the counter, and I have one kid that says he's going to do them for money, and that's not even working.
Oh man, that's good.
Or we can eat off something that's probably not even clean enough to eat off of, because he's like, oh, I cleaned it. No, you did not.
I got the dogs, I'll clean it.
I know. We have a little French bulldog, and he keeps being like, he could just eat it. I'm like, no, he can't.
Oh man.
Well, what do you guys think? Think it's time?
Oh,
I think we made it.
Yeah.
All right, so at the same time, should we just plan on sending out who the next group leader will just send out an email just like we've been doing?
Yeah, I'll shoot it out.
Sounds good.
That'll work. Sounds
All
good.
right.
Guys, have a good week.
Have a good week, you guys.
Yeah,
All right,
Bye, guys.